As I'm doing this reread, looking at TopWiki's rules, TopWiki's spirit, looking at some of the pages I've interjected here, the thing that jumps out at me most is as I'm reading this, on page 1 I talk about I've often wondered if starting at the start point of the periodic table of elements may give us a few clues. The first atom, the hydrogen atom on it, I consider to be the most important atom on the table. And then the second most important atom on the table, in my opinion, is the sixth atom, the carbon atom, because carbon-based life forms, organic life forms, basically form the basis of what we're talking about here in TopWiki, basically exponential growth. So again, the other thing that really jumped out at me is what are my intentions? So basically, there are many, many unknown unknowns. Copy. My confirmation bias is building a grand unified field theory of everything, that every layperson on Earth can use and understand. So top scientists in the world, Nobel laureates can use it too. It's just, let's have something that's outside the domain of the top 20 smartest people in the world are building it, and everybody else is totally clueless unless they're masters at the most advanced mathematics. So the other thing that jumped out at me, I was on page 4 or 5, is there's some clarification issues, which I knew there would be, obviously. Like when you're writing a book, you need to go back. Great writing is rewriting. And if you're going to make hopefully the best book ever written of all time, it's probably going to need to be reviewed and re-reviewed. I need to basically, as an author, as the first editor-in-chief of TopWiki, to ensure its quality, make sure that I'm beating every other author on planet Earth by making sure I'm reviewing and reviewing and reviewing. Watching Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about Carl Sagan had basically just written all these different books, so many books, and I thought, why don't I just build one book that's ever updating, basically like a college textbook, but for lay people, online, and the whole TopWiki thing. So the thing that jumped out, I just got to page 4, and the thing that immediately jumped out at me is this needs to be clarified because it doesn't make sense with this or this. I mean, this makes more sense than anything anybody else has written, but it's still ambiguous for reasons that are outside my control until I invent something to make it less ambiguous. And then I thought, what else is somewhat ambiguous? And then I thought, well, I'm not using the standard international units of measurement, which is based upon exponentiality, similar to the pH table, which goes from 0 to 14, 7 being neutral. It's also based upon exponentiality. And I thought, emergence is based upon exponentiality. People can understand that. How does something basically go from being undetectable on an XYZ axis, there's something going on, but the smallest stuff we can see is with an electron microscope, unless we build a large hadron collider and create the second most powerful electromagnetic fields on Earth, other than the electromagnetic fields of Earth itself, to basically smash two protons together and then take the explosion and try to reverse engineer what's inside. So basically, how does something pop into existence? Emergence, exponential growth. This is what this model is based upon. So something's going on, world of probabilities, and then at some point, boom, it's measurable. It pops into existence. It doesn't actually pop into existence. It just seems to, based on, that's the point we can measure it. And then we have tricky processes such as hadron colliders to smash things that are otherwise undetectable. I can word this better, but anyways, so I kind of got stuck at page 4, and not stuck at page 4. I just got to page 4 and I thought, it looks like a moron wrote this. And then I realized, oh, it's my life's work. Oops. And So yeah, I'm trekking forward on page 4. I'm gonna move forward, and then I was thinking about also setting up some sort of system to constantly do these reviews, because basically I want the editor-in-chief of TopWiki not to just put CGI puke on a screen, or write 30 different books on 30 different topics, but constantly perfect one. Basically, I forget what the heck I'm even talking about. So yeah. So I've already realized that this needs to be taken to the next level somehow in terms of being able to prove. So part of TopWiki trying to become the first multi-trillionaire company, not like Apple, which has a current market capitalization of 1.9 trillion at this very moment, but how can Sam Prater and Daughters be the first trillionaire family? So the market capitalization of TopWiki would theoretically beat Apple computers, maybe be like worth 20 trillion globally instead of Apple's 1.9 trillion in theory. So basically, some of the ways I imagine us beating every other single person who has ever lived in all of human history is basically doing something a little bit different than anybody's ever done before. Basically, have it be the single most transparent company ever built in the history of humankind. So that's where my mind's at. Like, how do I actually do that in a way that it is exactly as I say, and so that people can have more confidence in TopWiki than any other business, and not just philosophically, but they can technically have more confidence in our business because it's meeting technical standards that no other business ever built ever has ever done. So that's what I'm thinking about.